Hey guys, it's Alex, otherwise known as the Sleepy Neko from the Honeypot server. I wanted to start off by saying our proper gratitude and disclaimers. On behalf of me and Bear, we wanted to thank those that have joined our Discord server and been wanting to learn. For those that continue supporting what we do on our Patreon, you guys have been making the Discord feel a lot more like family and easier for those that are newly navigating in the stock market. This includes our new mods for the server. Thank you for keeping things intact while me and Bear are out for the day. It pushes us forward entirely by keeping a schedule to drop these videos on a timely manner and making sure we get back to the community every time. Now, everything you find in this video is not to be considered financial advice. The information here is provided solely on the basis of teaching people how to read and navigate the stock market. We will begin again by using the Weibo platform on the desktop for this lesson. For you mobile users, I will have a drop down screen on the right hand side for any settings and indicator changes you want to follow along. Our previous lesson regarded on breaking down a graph, which entirely provided you on the basis of averages, target prices, areas of consolidation in which the price of the stock, to recap, would fight between its supporting and resistance lines. Today, we will build upon that knowledge by showing you indicators and how to use them to get proper entry and exits. This video will be brief, as much of the indicator values are subject to change based on your trading techniques. Anything you could follow along here on this video is for you to just learn and appropriate them in your style of trading. But if you want to also copy the values I use, which have been proven for me useful and have given me profits, then of course you could just input them yourselves and follow along in this video. For our example, we will be using Tesla stock and we will be seeing how it's been on a continuous uptrend ever since it's been announced that it would be on the SP 500. So we will be using four of my favorite indicators. These will be known right here on the PC. You can press on these buttons. They are known as the MACD, the RSI, the ADX, and the KDJ. They all have their own different uses and they all teach us a different type of form of indication of what the stock is doing. For the MACD, it is telling us when our EMA line and our MA line, which are our exponential moving average, and our moving average itself, when they converge, meaning they connect to show us if there's a trend, either a upwards or downwards trend. Now it's very easy to read this. It's not that hard, and you can follow my indicator numbers right here. That is 5, 10, and 12. To get these indicators on your mobile device, right here on the right side of your graph, you will see a little button. You will click on that, and it will have a drop-down screen that will show you MACD and different kinds of indicators. For some of them, you might have to scroll down and bring them up on your settings. So what does the MACD tells us? The MACD tells us when there's a downward or upward trend and also buy-in and selling opportunities. As we can see, we see volume bases on the trend right here. As you can see, these little bars, almost similar to what we see right here. And it tells us this is a downward trend because it's underneath the volume. It's not following enough with the market. Right here, we see that it's upwards. It is following up on the market. Now, how do we find buying opportunities? Well, right here on Tesla, I'm on the 1 hour mark. You can see for my settings on my MACD, I am following 5, 10, and 2. For my style, I am using yellow and green. Now, what does the yellow line signify? It's signifying your EMA lines. And what is the green line signifying? Your MA lines. Now, I wanted to tell you the very simple concept of the MACD. When the yellow line crosses underneath the green, that is a buying opportunity. Not a secured one, but it is indicating that it should be a buy-in opportunity. When the yellow line crosses over the green line, as we can see right here on a more closely basis, they're very peaking. They converge and they touch. That is telling us it's time to sell. Now, not every time is a MACD accurate, so we need to always have supportive indicators like the RSI, the ADX, and the KDJ to give us the proper indication that, okay, now is the time. So to put it into example, when we use this MACD, you can see right here, it was Tesla was in an area of consolidation where it couldn't break this price point of 425, 423 as you would like to say it. And this volume candle, if you guys recall what candles tells us, that it opened and closed in the market at this price point and it closed right here. Now we see that Tesla opened up right here on a big gap. So it jumped up from this price point all the way up, and we can see this on the volume candle that ended up in a red. But what do we see on the MACD? The MACD indicated to us that this point right here, the yellow had intersected underneath the green line. It's very hard to see it, but it's underneath it and it crossed under. Was a buying opportunity, and people that bought in have currently been riding this Tesla uptrend all the way up. So now, how do we figure out if it's a selling opportunity? Well, selling opportunity we can start seeing right here closer on the hourly mark, as we could see how Tesla recently had reached a high of almost $600 but wasn't able to break through. Now, what do we see right here? The yellow line had peaked underneath, which people could have gotten here just to scalpel real quick for you day traders. And now we see that the yellow line is starting to cross over the green line, which is starting to show the sell-offs. Now you can see this right here that it's still on an upward trend because it is above these volume averages right here. And so we could always have a basis that Tesla will still keep on going uptrending and would not fall too hard on a different area of consolidation like 400 bucks. Now now that you understand the RSI, I'm sorry. Now that you understand the MACD, now let's get to the RSI. The RSI tells us how strong the trend of the stock is going, whether if it's getting overbought or oversold. This tells us should it be really an opportunity for us to get in. Now, when you zoom out for your PC users, for the U mobile users, it is much more easier to read because you would actually have these two lines. For us PC users, we would have to zoom in out a little bit more to see much more of this information. When we see between this orange lines, we see that that is our balance key. We want the stock or the RSI to move in here. So the RSI is basically the strength of how fast the price is moving. So we see right here that the price went from obviously 407 and it jumped really hard to 460. And the RSI went past this orange line. This is showing signs of overbought. Sellers have bought too much and it has no news to sustain itself. Now, we see right here in previous history that it has support. So it was able to drop back down and keep an area of consolidation briefly right here before it continued its uptrend and still end up being overbought. And we could see right here on the RSI, it was overbought and now it's down on a downtrend to cool off, which is what we like to say. The RSI needs to cool off a bit, and people that ended up getting quick profits sold right here. And now they waited for a dip, they bought back in, and now they're riding back on the uptrend. So this is how you understand the RSI to know if it's really a proper opportunity to get in or get out. Now that we understand the RSI, I want to get into the ADX. What is the ADX? The ADX is otherwise known as the Average Directional Index, which tells us how strong an upward or downward trend is on the basis of the graphical chart. It's pretty simple. We see right here that when it had its uptrend from this lower price average right here, it went up and it followed all green candles upwards. It became lateral because there is indecisiveness in the market to even continue an uptrend, and it became downtrending. See, it started downtrending right here into an actual area of consolidation. This area of consolidation kept up and kept fighting in this ADX line, and now it began from right here in this candlestick, or you could even say right here, it started to begin its uptrend. And we see that this uptrend relates very significantly to the graph. Now, I wanted to show a little key steps that I've been using to actually understand the ADX. When I see peaking corners, when I mean actual right angle corners on the ADX right here, these are moments to either buy or sell. It really depends how you see it on the graph. So right here we see a downtrend. Right here we see more selling opportunities. We see more selling opportunities right here. We see this moment of a upward trend, and we see right here where this little corner peaks, people are selling off at this profit rate, and we see this red candle be the result of that. So people started selling off at this corner gap and it started falling off into a new area of consolidation where it had to support itself previously on new price range. Now Right here where the two lines converge right here, this showed us that it was on a downward trend and this was potentially another buying opportunity for us to ride an uptrend. We had a confirmation of this line moving upwards, and obviously by using the other indicators like the MACD, this is telling us an uptrend is about to begin. We should get in. Now we see that it's starting to uptrend, and it's still not at peaking. This is curved. Don't This is curved right here. You only want to sell off when there's actual peaking corners. See, there's a peaking corner right here, and it results to a red candle. This is started a downtrend, and now right here it began to show signals of an uptrend right here between these little two lines, and it became an uptrend. Now we're starting to see that there is a peaking corner right here where people sold off and it started to go downtrending. So that's how you read the ADX. Now for the KDJ, which is almost similar to the MACD, this is telling us almost prior before the MACD when there is a buying opportunity and a selling opportunity. This is why I love the KDJ. The KDJ, when you understand this, will really significantly improve your profits and securing them. This is almost like telling the future. Not really telling the future, but just understand it is almost a couple ticks ahead of the MACD and any other form of indicator I have used. This is all my personal opinion, but it's what has been helping me a lot to secure these profits. Now we see these forms of EMA lines because this is similar to the MACD, and if I pull out the MACD again, it is almost following the same EMA line formation as before. The only difference is that the KDJ, which has obviously K, D, and J, are your EMA lines. Okay, but the difference is a purple line is what diverges from those EMA lines to tell you when there's a trend that's going downtrending or uptrending based on the market. So this purple line, when it crosses, and this is a rule almost similar to the MACD, when it crosses underneath the EMA yellow lines, it is showing a moment of buy. When it's going over the yellow lines, it is showing a moment of sell. Now let me show you how this is applied on Tesla. Again, we see that Tesla was in this area of consolidation. Now, when we see this area of consolidation, it's supported itself when we start seeing the lines go smaller and smaller. If I were to go a little bit more deeper into the 30-minute mark, we would see that there is this consolidation area before it started to gap up. Now we could see right here how similar our MACD and our KDJ is showing us opportunities of buy. Why? Because right here, the KDJ purple line is going underneath the EMA lines, and our normal EMA indicators on the MACD is showing that the yellow line is crossing underneath the green line. Now, people were obviously to get in right here, they would profit, 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 profit. And right here, even though the KDJ is not telling us yet that there's a sell-off, some people secured profits right here because they followed the MACD line. But for us, we see that it's still not showing us a proper moment to sell, and it's still not telling us, all right, we need to start selling. Right here, people sold. People sold because why? They saw the KDJ was going over the yellow line. They were thinking that it was not going to uptrend. Well, they were completely wrong. They should have followed every other form of the MACD, how it was still above the volume averages. Now, when we see what was the proper sell-off moment, we see right here the KDJ, as indicated also on the MACD, a moment to sell. The purple line is crossing over the yellow and orange line, which was obviously the moment where people took profits right here at the highest peak of 597, and it began to sell off. Now we start seeing similar patterns that potentially Tesla might have another uptrend. It might sustain itself in a new supporting area, probably above this price line, because obviously we don't want to drop down into a consolidating area lower than before. And it would show us when's a proper indication of buy. The proper indication of buy would be when a yellow crosses underneath the green. Now that we put these to use, now we could actually add all this up together. As we could see on RSI, that Tesla was overbought and has been consistently been overbought. Crazy. So now we see that it's finally cooling off into the RSI and it's prepping itself because the ADX is telling us that there is now an upward trend. On the MACD, it's telling us that there's no volume, it's not going underneath the volume averages. And we're also seeing that in the KDJ, it's starting to formate a peaking, almost like a little cup that is going to be showing a moment to buy. Again, this is not financial advice, so don't invest in Tesla by the base of this analysis. This I'm just telling you how to read these indicators. So now that you understand this, we could always be using the KDJ, the MACD, the RSI, and the ADX to confirm buy-ins and selling points for a stock. But this is all based on technical analysis, guys. Please, please don't be just throwing your money on Tesla. At least do some due diligence because there are other stocks out there that would be profiting on Monday. Follow the Discord for those types of informations. So to break it down and overlap again, you guys could follow my indicator numbers right here on the KDJ 933. I will not explain why I'm using these. 5102 for the MACD, the RSI 71424, the ADX 7 and 1. You could use these because I have been using these and they have actually significantly reflected what the market is doing. As I can show you this example, we see that ADX has been showing a downward trend right here because it was consolidating and not showing up, pushing up in volume. As we see this volume became lateral, we see that it was coming back from an overbought situation on the RSI and it had it cool off. But we also need to understand that Tesla has not had a oversold situation. So what does an oversold situation look? Obviously, when the RSI goes underneath these average lines of 30 and 70. So that is for you to kind of have a balance that I need to have the RSI balanced out, cooled off before I jump in. You know, now they have all four of these indicators. You can get the proper ins and outs for your stock needs. And I hope you guys take this knowledge. It's very brief, but you guys could actually see this in more detail in the Discord chat. You guys could ask me questions. You guys could add the mods, and we will be happy to answer them much more descriptively to you on a one-on-one basis. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.